Hey everybody, welcome back. George here talking about movies again. So, I saw The Founder a couple of days ago. Once again, wanted to see it sooner. I don't know if it got a limited release. I mean, it must have, because it's up for award contention for last year. It didn't get any nominations. So yeah, I guess it got a limited release, but didn't go wide until last Friday. So, I saw it over the weekend, and it's awesome. Really good flick. The only review I've heard about is Entertainment Weekly gave it like a C. No, it's a solid A-, B+. Like, it's a really good flick. Once again, Oscar nominations are out, and Michael Keaton wasn't nominated, which is a shame. It would have been his third nomination in a row. Of the three performances, The Founder, Birdman, and Spotlight, I guess Birdman's probably his best performance, but it was hard to focus on because that movie was so up its own ass with the, oh my god, we filmed it all in one take. A little too show-offy for my tastes, but he's really great in it. Spotlight was a quieter performance, so if you think that acting, if you think the good performances are about the less showier roles, then that one. I fucking love The Founder. It's my favorite of the three performances. He's got a great accent, which at the end they show clips of the real guy, Ray Kroc. He nailed the accent. He is passionate and fast-talking and, you know, just kind of tweaky. It's a lot of stuff going on. There's lots of grunts and groans. He kind of gives a very animalistic almost performance. Very, you know, and fucking the hands are always going, and it's very, very physical. Very, very fun performance. Which is why I say it's totally an A-, B+ kind of flick. Because the movie completely hinges on his performance, and he is riveting throughout. Not only riveting, but like fun. You laugh with him. The audience I saw it with, which wasn't big, the audience I saw it with would laugh at small stuff like a gesture or like his eyes flitting one way or another. Like little things would get a giggle. And he's your guy. He is the anchor to the movie, and he is fucking fun and fun to watch throughout. And it's the kind of story where you're rooting for him, but you're also, God, he's a dick. So for those who don't know, The Founder is the story of Ray Kroc, the guy who founded McDonald's. And going into it based on the trailers, you might think, is it another Social Network kind of story where he stole the idea from somebody else and he's a big fucking, you know, antisocial fucking prick, and, you know, but it takes somebody like that to make a start business? Not really, no. He didn't steal McDonald's. So McDonald's started as a burger stand in California by two brothers, the McDonald brothers, Dick and Mac, played by two great actors. Dick is played by Ron Swanson. What's his fucking name? Nick Offerman. Nick Offerman plays Dick, and again, no nomination, but if I ran the Oscars, he would have gotten a supporting actor nomination. He's fucking fun throughout. Very solid, very different from Ron Swanson. And the other brother, Mac, is played by an actor whose name I can never remember, but he's in everything. He was in Zodiac. He was Drew Carey's brother on the Drew Carey Show. He's one of those character actors that's all over the place. And he's really good, too. Who else is in this fucking movie? His wife is an actress I know, but can't remember. Laura Dern. Laura Dern plays Ray Kroc's wife. She looks old. I think they aged her up a bit, because she's not that old. She gives a very quiet, sad performance. BJ Novak from The Office shows up for a quick little bit towards the last act. He's always fun. What's her name? Linda Cardellini from Freaks and Geeks fame. She is in this movie, and she is, you know, as charming and beautiful and lovely as ever. That actress needs to do more stuff. She is a great actress, and she's fantastic in this movie. Breath of fresh air. She shows up towards a point in the movie where it kind of got a little montage-y. Act 2, like, oh, he's setting up McDonald's everywhere. You kind of needed something else to keep the story going, keep the momentum up. And she showed up at just the right time to really get you reinvested. She's fantastic in it. And Patrick Wilson plays her husband. Patrick Wilson being the guy from a bunch of different stuff. He was in Little Children, where he played Kate Winslet's husband, or maybe it's the guy she had an affair with. Can't remember. He was Night Owl in Watchmen. He was the sort of main character in Bone Tomahawk from a couple years ago. So another guy who's been in lots of stuff, another really good actor. He's fantastic in Angels in America, if you haven't seen, which I should really do a vlog about Angels in America. Anyway, so this cast is full of really great character actors, and anchored by a very strong lead performance from Michael Keaton. The movie is shot in a very conventional way. My only issues with this movie really are when I was like fairly quickly into it, I was like, I really wish David Fincher had directed it, and I really wish Aaron Sorkin had written it. Because because it's that kind of movie. It's very dialogue heavy. You're going to see the same locations a lot, or the same kind of situation a lot. And you need a director who's going to be slightly more interesting than he is. This is fine directing. There's nothing spellbinding about it. There's nothing bad about it. It's very much just like, he told the story just fine. Same thing with the writing. There are some good lines. It's not bad writing. I just wish it sizzled a bit more. Structurally speaking, it's a really good movie. Like, that kind of writing is really good. It's this excellent, like, 3 acts. You know where you're going throughout. Again, there are callbacks to things from earlier on. Little lines of dialogue that, you know, seem small become big. So yeah, it's a fun, engaging watch. I just wish that, you know, I wish it had a little bit more rat-a-tat, and I wish it had a little bit more visual panache. Panache isn't a word. Pizzazz or panache is what I was trying to say. So, Michael Keaton gives a bunch of monologues in this movie, and if you're the kind of guy who likes amazing actors just talking really fast-paced and covering all kinds of different topics, if you like The Wolf of Wall Street, if you like The Social Network, if you like pretty much anything Sorkin's written, really, it's that kind of movie. He is fucking awesome. And he's the kind of guy, the character is the kind of guy where I can't tell if the things he's saying are bullshits, or if he really believes, like, all the cliche, give 110%. I want people who are going to, you know, grab their bootstraps and lift themselves up. I need people who are hungry. I honestly can't tell if he's just giving a sales pitch or if he really believes that. It's a really interesting performance. So, let's go through it act by act, I suppose. That's the easiest way to do it. Act 1, we meet Ray Kroc, and he's just this salesman traveling around trying to sell milkshake things, and he's not doing well. He has a little, like, office back in his hometown. He's driving all over the country trying to sell milkshake mixers. Milksteak? What is this, a Charlie Kelly show? Milkshake. He gets a phone call from his secretary, and she's like, yeah, this company out in California ordered 6 of them. And he's like, 6 to one place? That's got to be a mistake. Calls him up, and of course, it's McDonald's. And they're like, no, you know what? You're right. That was a mistake. I think I'm going to need 10. So based on that, he just kind of drives to California and meets the McDonald's brothers. And it's a fun, that first sequence is really interesting because you realize in the 50s, diners, pop-up diners, drive-in diners were all over the place, but people were still using actual plates and actual forks and knives. The idea of a walk-up window was ridiculous. Fast food hadn't been invented yet. So the idea of walking up to a window, ordering a burger and fries and a Coke, getting it in like 8 seconds, and then you just walk away and throw your garbage away, is fucking, it's spellbinding, it's miraculous. And the way Keaton is just like, where do I eat it? What do I do with the garbage? Like, it's a lot of fun. We meet the 2 brothers, Nick and Mac, not Nick Offerman's the actor's name, Dick and Mac, and they tell their story, and we get a really fun flashback montage type thing of them and their life, about how they started in the Depression, and they had these various ideas, and they opened a movie theater, and stuff like that. Then they go to how McDonald's came to be, and the real innovative thing, the thing that makes it brilliant, isn't just like the fast food of it all. It's the automated kitchen. Everything is done so fast, everything is streamlined, and literally, as a guy who worked at McDonald's, when they introduced a lot of the techniques, I was like, God damn, like, I spent so many hours going with a ketchup gun to get a very specific amount of ketchup. Like, it's genius. And the way they did that is really fun. There's an excellent sequence where they shut McDonald's down. A thriving business shut itself down for 2 months to go figure out how to make it better. And they went to a tennis court, and they mapped out the exact dimensions of the restaurant on the tennis court in chalk. And then they brought their whole team out, and they orchestrated it like a fucking play to make sure, okay, here's the fryer, here's the grill, here's the Lazy Susan with the burgers on it. And they redid it like 17 times. And like, Nick Offerman is in his element in those sequences. He's conducting with a ruler. He's that guy. Like, he doesn't have like a Mark Zuckerberg, like he's kind of touched or broken. He just is a fucking genius. He doesn't have like, you know, a social disorder or Asperger's or anything like that. He's just really fucking good. And seeing somebody that good discover it and finally get it right, it's a really fun sequence. So from there, that's essentially Act 1. From there, Ray Kroc's like, we got a franchise. And they're like, we tried. The problem is quality control is impossible. We had 3 different stores, one of them Phoenix, and the Phoenix store was selling burritos. So it wasn't working out. Ray Kroc convinces them to let him be the franchiser, and he goes out and stakes everything he has, puts his house up for mortgage, and builds the first McDonald's with the golden arches. And then from there we get a series of ups and downs of him trying to find new investors and how his life is going to change. And it's all interesting, but it's all a little bit formulaic. Until we meet Patrick Wilson and his wife, Linda Cardellini. So this is towards the point where McDonald's has taken off to the point that he doesn't have to sell anymore. People are trying to sell him. Small towns around the Midwest are like coming to him to be like, we want a McDonald's. This dude, Patrick Wilson, owns a big fancy restaurant, but he wants to get in the McDonald's business. And at this restaurant, there's a piano player in the back playing. And immediately, if you know movies, you're like, oh God, this is the part where he has an affair, isn't it? But it doesn't really go that way. They did avoid that cliche. So Michael Keaton, it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Michael Keaton sits down next to her at the piano, and they do a little duet. And I had no idea Michael Keaton had such a good voice. It's just one more reason we're like, give him an Oscar nomination. He's a great performance, and he can sing. Come on. They didn't, though. It's a really charming little sequence, and from there forward, we kind of start to get the big conflicts. Throughout, there's been lots of, like, he'll call them back in California and be like, can I just do anything differently to make this better? Like, can I charge 18 cents for French fries instead of 15 cents? Can I... anything. Can I, the freezer costs are making, like, these huge walk-in freezers. They're making the businesses failures. No matter how much we sell, fucking powering those things is killing us. Is there anything I can do to make it better? Like, there's these powdered milkshake things that taste exactly the same. Can we use those? No. They need to put a basement with a furnace because it's fucking cold and it's in the Midwest. And they're like, well, we need to make sure, we have to hire our own contractor to make sure that it's going to be up to code. I mean, this is our name here, Ray. Things like that. And things start to come to a head because while Ray Kroc has like 17 different McDonald's at this point, and they're all on paper very successful, he is hemorrhaging money because they've given him 1% of the franchise fee. And I think the McDonald's brothers only get 3. So he's like, we have to renegotiate the deal. Like, give me 2.5 just so I can fucking buy stuff and keep living and pay my mortgage. And then, back in LA, the McDonald's brothers are like, that wouldn't be fair to the franchisees. They're not businessmen. That's all it is. And it's really interesting to see that as Ray is out there hustling and building new businesses and having meetings and doing all kinds of stuff, the McDonald's brothers are still in that McDonald's. They're still sweeping the floor. They're still cleaning the grill. All they want to do is make a great restaurant. That was their whole goal. Because they allowed to franchise it, they're just not open to the fact that things are going to run differently when you have more stuff. So then we get to Act 3, which is Ray is going to fucking take McDonald's away from them. And I won't really spoil how that gets into it because there's a lot of cool, interesting stuff. It's worth watching. Of course, that's why you're going to go see the movie, is how does this dude get the fucking company away from them? Is Ray Kroc, as depicted in the movie, an evil fucking thief? Not really. He did some things that I'm just like, oh man, what a dick move. But I also understand it. If he didn't set out to steal McDonald's. If those two brothers had been this much more open to change, I honestly believe he wanted to grow their company with them. But at every step of the way, they just weren't. They just refused to make any kind of changes that are necessary. And nothing he said was ridiculous. It wasn't like he was, doing anything that was going to destroy what they'd created. He just wanted to build the company. So yeah, there are some dick moves. There is a handshake agreement near the end where I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't handshake agreement. You need it in paper. Do not handshake agreement. Like, there are some moments, but essentially I'm just like, he didn't steal it. They just they were in there, like, those guys were the biggest impediment to the success of McDonald's. The ending moments are very much just like, ugh, like, bittersweet is how that movie ends in a lot of ways, because I like Ray Kroc as a character. I've liked watching his journey, but I also really like the brothers. I like those guys. I want them to succeed as well, and of course, in a story like this, you can't have both sides win. One of the best scenes in the movie, and I won't spoil what goes on, is near the end, and it's Michael Keaton and Nick Offerman alone in a bathroom, and the lawyers are all gone. They just kind of have a very off-the-record, laid-on-the-table conversation about, like, what the fuck? And it is the kind of thing where you're like, while Michael Keaton's being a dick about it, everything he's saying is accurate. It is an amazing bit of acting throughout the movie. It's a lot of fun. There's some jokes. Like I said, there's a little sweet musical number. The score is really fun. Again, no nomination, but it's really fun. You can kind of feel the pulse of everything. It's just a good, solid flick. It feels like the kind of movie that would have been made in the 50s by like a Billy Wilder or something like that. It has that. It's very American, this movie. It's like the iconography of churches and flags and the golden arches and businesses starting themselves up and small town mentality and Men who came back from the war and are intelligent, trying to get their life started, who have an opportunity by franchising McDonald's. Like, it's a very American story, including the darker sides of consumerism and branding and stepping on the little guy to get your own thing going. So I think it's way better than the critics seem to. This is one, I said in the Hacksaw Ridge review, I probably wouldn't want to buy it right away and watch it again or anything. This is one I'd like to buy immediately, particularly if there's a Michael Keaton commentary track. He doesn't really do that very often, but Michael Keaton's a really funny, smart, sardonic, laconic motherfucker. So I'd like to hear what he has to say about it. I would very much want to buy the movie just to watch it again. I want to show it to people. It's a fun fucking movie. There are no big standout like pieces of dialogue I want to memorize. It's not like Wolf of Wall Street where like I want to memorize the entire DiCaprio monologue where he says, "I'm not fucking going." It's not that. It's not as good as that, but it is just a fucking pleasant watch for me. It's right up my alley. Every actor in there I know and recognize, and it's fun for me to be like, hey, that guy. And it has a really good ending. I will say that my favorite bit of direction in the movie is that whenever Michael Keaton is giving one of his long speeches, whether it's to a possible buyer of his milkshake thing at the beginning, or whether it's to the Kroc brothers, or whether it's to the President of the United States, they always start really tight on his face, looking straight into camera for a good minute or two before they widen out to reveal what he's talking about. That's a cool directorial thing, and it really gives you a chance to focus on Michael Keaton's face and how good he is as an actor. Definitely should have been nominated. Again, I haven't seen all 5 nominations. Oh, fucking Casey Affleck! That's the other guy I forgot in the Hacksaw Ridge review. So, I believe the nominees are Casey Affleck, which I haven't seen, Denzel Washington, which I haven't seen, Andrew Garfield, which I have seen, and he was good, Ryan Gosling, which I have seen, and he was good, and the 5th one. Fuck. Don't remember. Shit. Anyway, of the ones I mentioned, I still haven't seen Casey Affleck, but I really think that he should have been in there. I absolutely think Michael Keaton should have been there. He gives a great performance, as always, and it's just, he's having a great comeback. 3 years in a row, 3 movies in a row, all of which are pretty solid quality. As far as the movies go, again, I like this better than Birdman. I think Birdman's just too show-offy. There are sequences in that movie that are fucking amazing, but as a piece, I'm just like, God damn it. It's too up its own ass. It's too self-aware. I couldn't get into it. As far as Spotlight goes, Spotlight and The Founder are closer in what they are. They're not quiet movies, but like they're simple movies about one thing. Spotlight's a better movie, for sure, and the acting is throughout is fucking, it's not just one guy, it's very much an ensemble. But Spotlight's a bummer. It's not a happy film, even though it sort of has a happy ending. The Founder is my favorite of the 3. It's the most fun to watch. I'm gonna want to watch it again. Excellent fucking watch. It's in theaters now. If you have a few hours, go see it. Absolutely worth your time. Like I said, if you're into true stories, if you're into American stories, the iconography of America, if the story, of pulling yourself out of your bootstraps is a thing that appeals to you. If you like Billy Wilder movies, like Ace in the Hole, it's a really good fucking flick. If you like Michael Keaton, obviously go see it. And I will say when the movie ended, my mother was like, so where do you want to go get food? And I was like, I kind of want to go to McDonald's. Like it does, it's jam-packed with fucking McDonald's stuff in it. So 10 minutes into the movie, I'm just like, I want some fries. Like it looks good. So that's my take on The Founder. Hit me up in the comments below if you agree or disagree, you think the movie fucking sucks. And let me know your favorite Michael Keaton performance. I'm curious to know what your favorite Michael Keaton performance is. Also, you can find me on Twitter, @GeorgeEfta, and Facebook, same thing. And to check out the blog, adolescentconceptions.wordpress.com. And that's all I got to say about The Founder. I'll be back in a bit to talk about Silence, which I'm going to see later. So, yay! Thanks.